All right, let's talk about some positions the Lions really need to fill in the draft and positions that's not important or that important. Let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video, check the Detroit Lions Talk playlist out. Appreciate the love and support. We got Mason here today. Mason, avid Lion fan, being a Lion fan for 1 year of his life. He was born, he's sleepy. He was born Valentine's Day of last year. He's been our dog since April 22nd of last year. But Mason, big Lions fan. All right, big Lion. Had a Lions collar, still got it. I love you too, man. But let's talk about it. I want to start off with the not so important needs that people talk. You got people that say, well, the Lions need everything. That's not true. Oh, he always messing me up. That's not true. The Lions don't need everything. All right. We talking about the positions that's not that important to fill. Talk about left tackle position. Right tackle position, excuse me. I mean, it's a luxury because you still got Terrell Crosby. You still got Big V who can play the position, or he could slide inside. So really, when you talk about just in general, the big board, I'm an avid believer in finishing the position group. At 7, if they did take Slater or Sewell Phil, I really wouldn't be mad. But the one thing about Slater is he can play some left tackle too, I believe. So, he provides a little bit more versatility. Sewell can really give you some right tackle, right guard situation. You can play Crosby or Big V at right guard or right tackle. Let Sewell work his way to the tackle just like they did with Ragnow with center to guard. All right. So, that's the thing about it is the offensive line is really good. You got some guys who are going to get better next year in Stenberger, who can really step up and probably spell some guys. So, you getting a lot more depth. People say, well, the line wasn't good last year. Excuse me, about the line, wasn't healthy. But one thing, you got Taylor Decker who played well last year. You got Jonah Jackson who played well. Frank Ragnow played well. The biggest issue was Big V wasn't healthy. So we had some issues at putting some guys who weren't qualified to be a guard. That's the issue. If he come back healthy next year and play guard, and you do take Slater or Sewell, I think, eventually with more reps with each other, they'd be the best offensive line in football, potentially. And I also think one of the biggest reasons that the line ain't good, other than Big V health, is simply the mentality of not running the ball. You don't want a 300-pounder backing up on his toes being a ballerina 70-80% of the game. I really think the biggest thing about the Lions and offensive line is mentality. It's running the ball in situations you usually don't run the ball. Starting 3, let's run the ball in this situation, and see what we get. If it don't work on the first down, let's run it again on the second down and see what we got. It's really, the mentality of running the ball, and hopefully Anthony Lynn can change that. But really, it's a luxury, which this doesn't mean they shouldn't draft these guys. We're talking about positions they may not need as bad. But I honestly think if I took Slater or Sewell for me, I wouldn't be mad because now we completed a position group. But we just talking about it's a luxury. Talking about another position, the running back position. You know what I'm saying? That's a position that you really don't need. And obviously, if you stay at 7, you're not gonna reach. But then again, let's say your second round pick came up, you got an opportunity to take the dude Travis from Clemson. Why wouldn't you? If he rated high on your board, excuse me, my nigga's killing me. If you don't believe if you don't need a running back, don't put none of them on your board then. So that's another position where you look at and say, on paper, once again, this is just my on paper, but guess what? What if Swift go down or Williams go down? Still believe in Kerryon. So you can never have too many running backs, and that's really Kyle Shanahan's philosophy wherever you win in 49er land now. Always take running backs. If, you got the best running back on the board and it's him, take him. That's my thing. Take him. But, running back is a position where, maybe not so much. And I go with tight end. You got the kid from Washington, Hunter Bryant, last year. You still got 2 really good tight ends. So tight end is a position. If you're going to pick Kyle Pitts as a true tight end, I really think you better have an offensive coordinator that can really make it work. But if you're gonna draft him as a receiver, and I get it, but they don't need a tight end. They don't really need a tight end at all. You know, it defeats the purpose. They don't need a tight end. You know, unless you're gonna utilize them the right way. Then you just keep going. You're looking at edge rusher. You can't have too many edge rushers, but you look at it. Flowers, the Okoro brothers, you know, Julian coming back. Brian, Charles Harris. So they got a lot of edge rushers coming in this year. You could put Hand and Collins on the edge. So you're just talking about, I don't really see them drafting an edge rusher. But if I did take an edge rusher and somebody I like, and he fell second round or later, I really like Russo. If Russo fell to me, I think, you know, you don't need players to come in who gonna have an immediate impact neither. Just you need guys who are gonna be really good down the line. And I think with Gregory Russo, I think the number one thing with him is he would have time to learn behind great veterans like Romeo and Trey Flowers and Charles Harris, who've been in this league. You know, him and Julian Okoro will give you a lot of youth. And they don't have to step in and play right away neither. They can take their time and develop and really be good pros, get bigger, stronger, get better technique. You know, I think that's something you're looking at. But, you know, those are positions where I think, you know, they may not have to look so much. That might be prioritized a little less than the ones I'm talking about. You know, when you look offensively, what you really need is quarterback. You know, to be honest, Jared Goff's track record showed without Todd Gurley that he's not that good. So quarterback is a high priority. If it's the most important player in the game, you're looking at guys that Fields fall. A lot of people don't think he fall. I think he will fall. Looking at Lance, not a fan of him. Mac Jones, not a big fan of him. But it don't mean you have to take a quarterback early. Look at Kellen Mond like him. I think Kyle Trask might have a little bit of potential in this league. I'm not sure if he could be a superstar quarterback, which we need, but you know, somebody I look at, I believe can be pretty solid, man. But yeah, if that's the most important player in the league, then you prioritize that, got to be high. You know, and if Justin Fields fall, I'll take him. You know, teach him how to recover, just fix the mechanics a little bit, and then hopefully next year you can let it ride. Or if, you know, Jared Goff don't play well this year, you can replace him. You know, but then you think, you know, what else is important offensively is receiver. You know, and if you're able to get Chase, Smith, I'm not a huge fan of Waddle. People say he could be the next Todd Gurley. Okay. Not Todd Gurley, sheesh. The next Tyreek Hill. Okay. But these guys, I like Brown better. Because he's more of a receiver. I like Bateman better. I like Cardavious Toney better. He's a little bit more sturdier. You know, there's a lot of few receivers I like. So, Terrence Marshall. But I really think that if you can get Smith or Chase, you got a true number one. You know what I'm saying? And you got a couple guys who can run the complete route tree. You can put them in the inside, you can leave them outside. You know, you can do a lot with them. So, you know, I like those guys a lot. You know, I like, you know, and it's very important. People say, well, you don't need a receiver. It's not important. Are you comfortable with Rashad Perriman, Tyrell Williams, Quintez Cephas? I'm not comfortable with those guys. You know, you got an opportunity to get a number one receiver. Get him. Will you get a receiver later? Do you trust the Detroit Lions to find a receiver? I don't. One thing you know, if those guys healthy, they'll come in and make an immediate impact. Another one is safety. They need another safety next to Tracy Walker. I think it's important for them to find a safety as well, too. You got one with a first-round grade, and I'm looking at kid out of TCU, Trayvon Moehrig. That's an important position as well, too, man. Linebacker, that's another one. Jamin Davis, Zaven Collins, I would love to add one or both of them to the linebacker core. That's a really, really big need right there, too. So, you know, if they move down and they can get both of those guys in the first couple rounds, it's going to be beautiful. Two modern-day linebackers that can run, that can cover. That's what they need, man. But yeah, you look other places, interior lineman, you know. That's a huge position that they need. Christian Baymore is the premier interior lineman. That's going to go early or maybe drop today too. But that's a huge guy that you need, that can, you know, if you add Baymore and Jamin Davis, that'd be beautiful because Baymore is underrated in the middle. He could really cause havoc. And other than that, man, position not nobody talking about, what if Carl Elder don't jump like a car battery? need a nickel back. So, you know, Asante Samuel Jr. might get his way in there as well, too, as a nickel back, man. And, you know, he fights and he can give you some ability to play on the outside, too. So, you know, just a couple of positions that I thought of, or a video I thought of. Yeah, Messi might set up. Say bye to Mason. Oh, you ain't gonna fall, buddy. But I appreciate everybody for tapping in. But check out Detroit Lions Talk playlists. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests, all our social media links, subscription. Twitter is the best way, then Facebook and Instagram. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App, search CJ Good 313. PayPal link description. Best way to donate. Share the video. Peace.